I'm reviewing this Good Karma Flax Milk unsweetened. It's 25 calories for a cup, which is 240 milliliters. Out of all the nut milks that I've tried, I've found that this flax milk has the most neutral taste and goes with the things that I like to consume the best. When I put it with my Reese's Puffs chocolate peanut butter yogurt bowls, it soaks up the yogurt, or rather it soaks up the peanut butter and chocolate flavor, and it tastes good. It almost tastes like normal milk. In my coffee just now, I poured a bunch. Actually, I was supposed to pour 80 milliliters, but I wasn't paying attention because I'm talking, and I poured half a cup, but that's fine because it's going to taste good. Normally, though, I pour 80 milliliters into my cup of coffee, and with my French press, that makes about 3 cups of coffee. Normally, you would get 2 cups of coffee, so it's kind of nice to have a really low-calorie nut milk that I can use to really extend the coffee experience. But anyway, I've tried almond milk, cashew milk, multiple kinds of almond milks, a few other kinds of nut milks that I can't remember off the top of my head. And so far, like I said, my favorite is this Good Karma Flax Milk for 2 reasons. So one, it's actually 3 reasons. So at my local grocery store, this is one of the cheapest alternative milks for sale. It's like less than $3 for this whole thing. So I can really just afford to go through a lot of this stuff. And then as far as calories per weight or amount goes, it's the best. So I've seen some almond milk at Costco that's unsweetened. That's also 25 calories for a whole cup, but they don't sell that at my local grocery store. My local grocery store does have this cashew milk from Silk, and I really like this too. Actually, I like this more if I'm just straight up drinking it. If I just want a cup of something that's not water, this is actually currently my favorite. Even though it's not sweetened, it's got a nice flavor that makes it taste kind of milky. So I really like this stuff. But for mixing with things, which is my primary use for these alternative seed milks, flax milk is my favorite. Because like I said, it's got a smooth taste that goes well with just about everything I mix it into. And specifically for what I'm doing right now, which is making myself a cup of coffee, it does a perfect job of taking the bite off of the coffee taste without really changing the overall flavor of the coffee. It's just, out of the nut milks that I've tried, it's the best. It doesn't curdle, it doesn't cause lumps, it doesn't distract from the coffee flavor, but it does do that main thing that people often want from normal milk or dairy, which is it takes that bitter kick out of the coffee. And then of course I did add a little packet of French vanilla flavored stevia, which is 0 calories, and that helps sweeten the coffee up a bit. And I did add a dash of cinnamon. If you add enough cinnamon, then yes, it does have calories, but with one little dash, who cares? I'm not counting it. And so anyway, like I said, if I'm doing 80 milliliters or so of this, which is about what I use normally, is 80 to 85 milliliters, depending on how much pours out, it perfectly balances out the bitter kick of the coffee, and it's only adding about 9 calories per cup. So coffee, I think, is supposed to be 0 calories. So adding in, if I have 3 cups of coffee and I add 80 milliliters to each cup, then that's 25 calories for 3 cups of coffee. And given the effects that caffeine have as an appetite suppressant, given the effects that caffeine have on your hunger drive, I'd say spending 25 calories to suppress my hunger for a few hours is way better than drinking the coffee straight up black. Like, I'm much more likely to want to give myself some coffee if I know it's going to taste good, and this makes it taste good for very cheap. All right, so yeah, if you're trying to cut calories and stay on a low calorie deficit and you don't like drinking coffee black, then I highly recommend giving this Good Karma Flax Milk a try. And you don't have to try the Good Karma brand. This is just the one that's available at my local store. It's 25 calories per cup. That's the main reason. That plus the flavor, that's the main reason why I like it. I would probably pay twice as much for this if I had to. Now that I've tried it and I've determined that it really does make the coffee taste that much better. The other alternative milks just don't take the bitter kick out of the coffee like this stuff does. I don't know what it is about the flax milk, but it does a good job. It does a really good job of smoothing the coffee out. This doesn't taste bitter at all. No bitterness. It's smooth. It's very much nicer to drink. And only about an extra 9 calories per cup if you're doing 80 milliliters per cup of coffee.